Let's talk about sadness. Yeah, I know it's not exactly a party starter, but hear me out. Have you ever had one of those days when you're trying to act all fine, but on the inside you're like, dude, why is life like this? Everyone goes through that on some days. And today we're diving into what sadness really is, why it's not your enemy, and how will you work through it. Sadness is a very common emotion which could come up when we experience a sense of loss, disappointment, or unmet expectations. Like every other emotion, you could think of it as your brain's way of saying, hey, something needs your attention. Sometimes sadness just dips in for a quick chai, and sometimes it overstays like that guest who just won't leave. When it hangs around too long, it can mess with your mood, your sleep, your energy levels, even how you talk to people. Sadness has layers, which is why we've created a simple scale to map the different depths of sadness. It's like ranking it from slightly bummed to totally gutted, from mild disappointment to full on heartbreak. Here's how it works. Starting with disappointment. For example, say your crush leaves you on red mode, or your friends ditch your weekend plans. Annoying much, but okay. Then there's discouragement. A bit deeper, like messing up something you worked hard for, an exam, or not making it to a quiz team. It could feel like, why even bother? Then we've got distraughtness, which is slightly more intense, a state where it's hard to focus or function. Everything feels like it's too much when we feel distraught. Next up is helplessness. Life's throwing curveballs, and you're like, hey, I can't manage. How do I handle this? Work's piling up, there could be drama with friends or family, and you just feel like you could hibernate. The next level would be hopelessness, which almost feels like swimming against a current in a storm without a life jacket. It feels like you're putting in effort, but it's not getting you anywhere. Despair, which is experienced like a full on gut punch. Think heartbreak or shattered dreams, like not getting that dream job. It could feel like, will I ever bounce back? Then there's grief, and this one's heavy. Losing someone you love or something you deeply care about. Nothing feels okay when we feel sadness that's tending towards grief. And finally, we have anguish, which is the peak of the scale. Your heart shattered into a million pieces. This is a moment when the pain just feels unbearable. The good news is that no one gets stuck at one point on the scale forever. Things shift, how we feel shifts, sometimes quickly and sometimes over a period of time. You can use the scale to identify how deep your sadness goes if you feel this emotion coming up. In the next video, we learn about mapping it out step by step using self curiosity and self kindness. Think of it as detective work for your feelings. Okay, so you know you're sad, but have you ever stopped to deeply think, why am I feeling this way? What's actually going on? It's time to play detective and map out your sadness. Don't worry, no boring homework vibes here. Let's make it interesting. When you map your sadness, it's like solving a mystery. You get to figure out what triggered it, how it's showing up, and what can you do about it. For example, maybe you're mad at a friend for canceling plans, but deep down, it's not really about the plan. It's about feeling left out. When you do the mapping exercise, you get to a place where you can see that clearly. So here's how you do it. Start off by curiously checking in with yourself. What triggered it? Is it a big thing, like a fight, or something small, like just seeing a friend or your ex's Insta story? Next, gently notice how it feels in your body. Where do you feel it? Does it show up as a lump in your throat, or a tightness in your chest, or just a general heaviness? Finally, be curious about what would make you feel better. Would it help if you could talk it out with a friend? Or would being alone feel good? Would eating something you like make you feel lighter? You could map it using journaling or just in your mind, whatever works for you. In the next video, we'll talk about how to work through sadness with some super quick tools. So stay tuned and I'll see you there.